Ryan, you talked about before Seattle the injuries and preseason and maybe not getting a lot of minutes with all the guys together as a first team. Does it say a lot about how they played on Saturday with that in mind and moving forward, the direction this team can go in?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, it was a big result for us, but what I love about these guys is we're all very self-aware as individuals in a team, and we know we've got a lot to improve on. It was a result for organisation and character and will, and then obviously some quality. And we know we've got to get better in every facet, and we've got a really difficult game on Saturday with obviously DC. They're a new team and they've got some valuable MLS experience, so it's going to be an extremely difficult game.
How much does, when you talk about Defoe and the hype and everything, different from last year, where that's what was missing? Maybe defending was improved last year immensely, but just not the finishing. And now you've got somebody up top that can finish when he touches the ball.
Yeah, of course, and we've still got Gilberto to come through, and Jermaine's still new to this league, so we're not going to expect miracles from the man. He's going to have his off days and his good days like everybody does. So what we've got to do is we've got to worry about more as a team, and when one guy has a bad day, the rest of them can make up for it. And at the back, they've been doing that. They've been very solid for a long time now, in all honesty, but just haven't had the reward or the energy that goals bring. And when you have that, you have something to defend, for. And I thought they were what to be expected, to tell you the truth.
Coach, I know, winning is all you can be concerned about, but there's a buzz in this city that hasn't been around with this team in a long time. And you've got the Leafs, you've got the Raptors, both in playoffs, but yet people are still talking FC, and Jermaine has a lot to do with that. What does that mean to this organization to know that people are talking FC right now?
Oh, look, it's fantastic, but I can only control what the variables what are inside these walls, and that's the team, and that's trying to get them prepared and trying to get them ready. I don't think we'll be firing on all cylinders for a long time, or for a few weeks, and that doesn't mean we're excited. We're looking forward to it. We're trying to win every single game. The excitement's great. It's brilliant for the club, but again. I'll be the dampener, and I can only really control what these guys inside, and that's preparing for Saturday.
I guess Defoe kind of raised his own bar by scoring those 2 goals. Now people are, they already saw him here. Now they're maybe seeing him even on a higher level.
Well, look, he's I know he's very human. He's going to have, everybody has, good and bad days at the office. What we've got to look at as a team is who can step up for every single game. Who can be a difference maker, and we're not going to rely on Jermaine at all. He'll do his thing. There's no pressure from us for him to score goals, not at all. But we as a team have got to put ourselves in a position to try and win every single game, whether we've got Defoe or not.
I guess the nice thing, though, is the buzz that he's creating is bringing attention to maybe other people that haven't gotten the attention that maybe deserve it as well. And people are going to not just look at this as being Jermaine Defoe, they're going to look at it as TFC.
I agree, mate. And, I think what's really cool about the Toronto team is, Donnell Henry and John Ozuna, I thought were absolutely outstanding in that game. And that's 2 academy products that came through the system and are now are still very young players, but are looking like men out there and playing like men. And it was, for me, that was it's a real pleasure to see them develop into big, hard and professional players. Still got a long way to go. They know it, but it's real pleasing.
Michael Bradley was pretty fantastic, box to box. He was attacking in the mid. He was defending as a mid. He was, I guess, all that he's expected to be as well.
Yeah, obviously, I think that those sort of occasions are Michael Bradley's occasions. Like he loves the big games, as do many of our boys do, to tell you the truth. But in saying that, we have to. We're still, I'm still learning Michael, and how he plays, and the balance that we need to offset when he goes forward and when he comes back, and so we're all just learning about each other. And as I said, we'll try and get as organised as we can. But as the weeks develop, hopefully we can just keep improving.
Saturday still a realistic target for Gilberto to make his debut?
We're not sure. Obviously he's back at training now, but for the past X amount of weeks he hasn't had any football training. So it's a big ask to go from nothing to something very quickly. So we'll develop him over this week, and hopefully at some stage we'll be able to make a proper decision.
I imagine this is a question more for Jermaine, but just from what you've noticed, I mean, I imagine there's got to be some kind of culture shock going from playing where he's been playing to coming here to Toronto, where maybe soccer's looked at in a different light. What have you seen as far as him kind of enjoying and embracing being part of this organization, being a guy that's going to be playing here in Toronto now?
Well, in all honesty, I think if you ask him, I think, the buzz and what the fans provided, just what it's like over in England. I mean, we're laughing that, these fans, without the success that Toronto's had, and they're still talking, there's still sold out game, they're still coming. That wouldn't happen over in England. It just would not happen. And so that pays an absolute compliment to Toronto's fan base and what they love about the club, and also the fans that were at Seattle. I mean, it was a good couple of hundred up in that corner, and you could hear them, and they were loud and they were vocal, and you wouldn't get that in England going that amount of distance. So Jermaine just loves it. It's like for him, it's a breath of fresh air, and and he's just amazed about how the fans and the club and everything.
It must make it a lot more fun when there's that buzz. I mean, like you said, the fans were here, but now they're talking. You know what I mean? It must be a lot more fun for you guys to suit up here and get into the game and knowing that there's that excitement.
Yeah, and again, I mean, even last year I thought the fans were really great. The guys who came down and saw the actual games were, they know the game. They're smart, and they saw where it was going, and I think they knew if we only got a couple more pieces, it could be a wee bit of a different story. And but again, we know that we know we've got to perform on the field. The players know that. They don't need any pressure from the outside or anybody telling them. They put them on themselves.
Well, you never seen a field glass. Well, one of the things I see is when you sign a player on the football,
That was the main reason why we brought certain individuals in, was because of their characters and their willingness to win no matter what the stage and who you play for, and it's so important. Yeah, I think it's just as important as the football skills, and the guys in there, they love working for each other. They love trying to help each other get better, and as individuals in this team.
you're the boss, but how important is it to have sort of sub-bosses?
Look, it's so vital. Gee whiz, I can't do my job without my staff and without certain leaders on the team, and also guys right down to the bottom of the squad. Everybody has an important role, and we emphasise that, and we tell them that this is not just about one person or one player or one whoever. It's about everybody, and you've got to put the right pieces on that jigsaw puzzle.
Which impressed you more last week, the quality of the first half or the resilience of the second?
Both, yeah, both. Look, I thought the football that was played in the first half was absolutely perfect. How we went about the game, it couldn't have scripted it any better. And then the second half, we knew that the only really chances that Seattle are going to create is from us, and there's a reason why we backed off, and because Seattle, with all the due diligence we did, they don't really break teams down. The majority of their goals are scored from counter-attacks. So, ironically, the goal they did score was from a correct. But the guys did very well. I thought just when you get up 2-0, you can change the way you play, and that's a benefit from this team. If we decide to keep the ball, we could have kept the ball, but I think we're playing a wee bit into their hands.
It felt, watching it, completely different from any game this team has ever played. Did it feel like that on the sidelines?
No, no. It's funny because you see a lot of the stuff what we're doing this year as we did last year. It's just the only difference is we've brought in guys like Justin Morrow, Jackson, and obviously Michael and Jermaine. They do things that that they should be doing, and when they get you have to tell them only once. So that when you tell bad players 1,000 times, they do it once, and tell the good players once, they do it 1,000 times. So.
How much more fun is this for you?
Look, I had lots of fun last year. It was really enjoyable, and I'm having a lot of fun this year. But all I care about is winning. All I care about is winning for the team and for the club, and turning something that was, probably not doing as well, and hopefully turning it into something that's doing really well. And that's all I think about. It's all I concentrate on.
Cheers.